Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, which name is Analytics Pro. In the previous tutorial guys, we have studied about variables, that what are variables in SQL. I hope now you guys are clear with the concept of variable. And now in today's tutorial guys, we will talk about one more topic of SQL, which name is temporary tables. So before start this tutorial guys, let me give you brief about this temporary tables in SQL. So here is the first point guys. Temporary tables are very similar to the permanent tables. A temporary tables in SQL Server, as the name suggests, is a database table that exists temporary on the database server, which basically means guys, it's stored temporary in our database. After that, this table automatically deletes from our database. And now let's understand some more points. Temporary tables are created in TempDB database called system database. And the next point is that TempDB resides in system database in SSMS. In system database, there are 4 types of default database like master, model, MSDB and TempDB. And last but not the least, temporary tables are very useful when we need to store temporary data. So let's move towards the SSMS screen and understand where we guys can see the databases and temporary table. So here we guys have entered in SSMS screen. So right now guys, here we have entered in this master database. And if I click here on this database folder guys, and if I click here under this system databases, so I can see by default 4 databases like master, model, MSDB and TempDB. So once I create a temporary table guys, so it will store here under this TempDB database. So these are the same points guys which I have mentioned here under this PPT. In system databases there are 4 by default databases: masters, model, MSDB and TempDB. And temporary tables are created in TempDB. So here are 2 types of temporary table. So the first one is local temporary table and the next one is global temporary table. So there are 2 types of temporary table. So let's first talk about this local temporary table. A local temporary table is available only for the connection that has created in the table. And now let's talk about the next point. A local temporary table is automatically dropped when the connection closed. And the next point is that if temporary table is created inside the stored procedure, then it gets dropped automatically when stored procedure complete its execution. And all the points guys we will definitely cover with practical. Then you guys will get better understand. But right now guys, we have to understand the theory before covering the practical. And the next point is that we can create a local temporary table with same name in the different connection. I know guys, this time you guys are confusing with these statements. But once we done with the practical part, definitely your all the doubts will be clear. And now let's talk about one more point. In the Object Explorer, there will be a random numbers. So basically guys, this point says once you create a temporary table, it creates some random number at the end of the temporary table. And here is the syntax guys of creating any temporary table. So the syntax is exact same just like a normal table. Like firstly you need to write create table, then table name. But the catch here is that you need to use hashtag before the table name. This hashtag return that is a temporary table. And here I have taken some columns like ID, then employee name, and after that I have taken data type with constraint. So in this way you can create temporary table. And now guys, let's go to the SSMS and try to create temporary table. And here guys, now I am going to create a temporary table. So what I will do guys, now let me select the database from here, let's say Shubham. And now guys, let's create a temporary table here. So I will simply use create command here, create table. And here we need to enter hashtag. This hashtag return a temporary table name. And my table name would be let's say EMP and hit enter. And from here guys, I will simply write my columns name with data type and with constraint. So my first column name would be let's say ID and their data type would be integer. And I will simply restrict with this primary key constraint, comma, and now I will write my next column name, let's say employee names. And again I will define the data type of this column which is where char. And simply write the data size. It could be any number, let's say 60 and bracket close. And simply restrict with this not null constraint and close this bracket. So guys, my table is ready. So if you guys want to add more columns, so definitely you guys can add more and more columns. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, it says command completed successfully. Although guys, we have selected this Shubham database, still this table is not here under this Shubham database. You guys can clearly see it here. You will not able to find EMP table here because I have used this hashtag. And this thing guys, we have already discussed. Whenever we use hashtag here under this SSMS before creating the table guys, so this table you can see in the TampDB database. So let's open TampDB database. So guys, let's go back to this system databases. So let me close this Shubham database and simply expand this system database folder. And now I will simply expand this TampDB database. So now let me click here under this plus icon to expand this TampDB database. So what we need to do guys, we need to expand this temporary tables folder. So let me click here under this plus icon. So here we guys can see the same table here, which name is EMP. And if I expand this pane, here you guys can see it's written a random number. So this is the same point guys, which I have explained in the PPT. So let's check the same point. So here we guys can read the last point. In the object explorer, there will be a random number suffixed at the end of the table name in local temporary table. So basically guys, the moment you create any temporary table, it creates a random number at the end. And now let's go back to the SSMS screen. And now let me fix this panel. And now guys, what we will do, let's create some entries inside this table. So again we need to use the same command, which is insert into. So I will simply write insert into and my table name is EMP, which I will write with hashtag. And let's start the bracket. And firstly here I will define the column's name. So my first column is ID, comma, my next column name is employee names, bracket close. And finally I will write values function here to enter values. And now guys, let's insert some values with the help of values function. Firstly I need to start the bracket from here. And here I am taking the employee ID as 100, which is integer. And under employee name guys, I am taking the random name, let's say David, which is under the single quotes, and close this bracket. So here I have inserted only one value, which is ID and employee name. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, one row affected. So that means we have inserted a one row here under this EMP table. And now let's use select command and open this table. I'll simply use select star from our table name is hashtag EMP. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, I can see the same entry and this table exactly looks like a normal table. So in this way you guys can create a temporary table and insert some values under it. And now guys, let's understand the first point of our PPT of local temporary table. So let's go back to the PPT guys. So the first point says a local temporary table is available only for the connection that has created the table. What does it mean guys? So basically guys, before writing the query, we have created a connection. And temporary table guys, you can only see here under this particular connection. So let's go back to the SSMS screen and try to understand with practical. So here my connection name would be VTX S Verma 68. So this temporary table will only be work here under this connection. And if you try to open another connection and use this temporary table over there, so this temporary table will destroy over there. It won't work. It is just only work in the same connection where you have created this temp table. So let's try to see this thing with practical. Before that, let me copy this query from here. And now let me click here on this new query. So here we guys can see I have changed the connection. Earlier this was 68. Now it is 59. So now let me try to open this table with select command. Select star from our table name is hashtag EMP. And now let me select this query and hit execute. See guys, it clearly says that invalid object name. So I hope you guys are clear with the first point of local temporary table. It created only on the same connection where you have created temporary table. And if you go back to this connection guys, so here you guys can see this same temporary table and you can reuse multiple times. And now let's talk about one more point of PPT and check with this practical. So here is the next point guys. So the next point says a local temporary table is automatically dropped when the connection is closed. So this time guys, what I will do, let me close the connection where we have created temp table. So let's go back to the SSMS screen. So this is the connection guys. And now here I'm going to close this connection. So let me simply click here on this cross button and simply click here on this no. So I have closed this connection guys, and now let me refresh it from here. And now let's check this table whether this table is stored here under this TempDB database or not. So I will simply go here under this system databases and click here on this TempDB. And now let me try to open this temporary table folder. So here we guys can see this table is deleted from here. That means if you close the connection where you have created a temporary table, that table will be deleted automatically. So I hope you guys are clear with the second point of PPT. And now let's try to understand the third point of PPT, what it says. So the third point says guys, if temporary table is created inside the SPs, then it gets dropped automatically when the stored procedure completes its execution. So let's try to create a temporary table with SPs. This SP concept guys we have not covered yet here under this series, but in our upcoming classes guys I will definitely explain how to create stored procedure. So those who have already idea about the stored procedure, they can easily understand this point. But no worries guys, in our upcoming classes I will cover stored procedure in detail. Meanwhile guys, you guys can take the stored procedure knowledge from other resources. So let's try to create stored procedure and store this query under that stored procedure. So let me go back to the SSMS screen. So firstly let me remove this query from here. So for creating the stored procedure guys, we have to use this create command. And under create command guys, I need to write the keyword which is procedure, because I want to create procedure here, and simply define the name of the procedure. Let's say shub underscore sp, and simply use the stored procedure syntax which is as, begin and end. And here after this begin keyword guys, I can store any long query. So I have already copied that query of creating a table and insert some values, and now let me simply paste it here. So let me select this query and hit execute. So here we guys can see command completed successfully. And now let me try to use this stored procedure. So you don't need to write select star from here. Simply use the SP name which is shub underscore sp. And now let me use this sp from here. So let me select this sp and click execute. And now we guys can see the same table with ID and employee name David. And now guys, let's try to understand the third point of PPT. So the moment you use this SP guys, this SP is automatically destroyed. And now let me try to use this SP again. So I'll simply write shub underscore sp. And now let me select this SP and hit execute. So see guys, it returns an error. Could not find stored procedure shub underscore sp. That means you guys can use this temporary local table once at a time in a SP. The moment you use SP here, after that this temporary table will be destroyed. So I hope now you guys are clear with the third point of this local temporary table. And now let's try to understand the fourth point. We can create a local temporary table with same names in the different connection. So basically it means guys, we can create a same table with same name in the different connection. So let's try to create a same table with same name in different connection. So here I will simply click here on this new query. And now let me paste this query here, and I will not write here under this SPs. So what I will do guys, let me remove this SP syntax and simply use the table syntax like create table, table name, columns name and their values. So this time guys, we are here under this new connection which is VTX S Verma67. And now let me select this query again and hit execute. And now let me try to open this table with select command. So here we guys can see we have created a same table with same name in different connection. So I hope you guys are clear with the fourth point of PPT. You guys can create a same table name in the different connection. And the last point guys we have already discussed, there will be a random number suffixed at the end of the table in a local temporary table which we have already seen earlier. So I hope now you guys are clear with all the points of local temporary table with practical. So you guys can make your own notes with this PPT and try to practice this local temporary table. And now let's talk about the next type of temporary table, which is global temporary table. That is exactly same like a temporary table, but we have some differences. So quickly talk about this global temporary table. So here under this global temporary table guys, we need to use two hashtags. In local temporary table guys, we have only used one hashtag. Global temporary table are accessible or visible in all the connections. So as we have already seen guys, temporary table we can only see in the one connection, but global table you can see all the connections. Global temporary table destroyed when the last connection referencing the table is closed. Simply means if you close the last connection table, it will drop. Don't worry guys, this thing we will see with this practical. We can't create global temporary table with same names in different connection. Basically, local table you can create with same name in different connection, but global table you can't. And the last point says guys, in the object explorer, there will be a no random number generated. And now let's create global temporary table in SQL. So this time guys, I will use the same query with double hashtag. So let's go to the SSMS screen and now let me simply copy this query from here with Ctrl C and close this connection. And simply click here on this new query. And now simply let me paste this same query here. And this time guys, I am going to create global temporary table. So what we need to do guys, we simply need to use double hashtag. And let me also change the table name here, double hashtag employee. So this is the global temporary table guys. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, our table is ready with one row affected. So let me refresh this database from here and simply go here under this tempdb database. And now let me expand this temporary table from here. So here we guys can see the same employee table. But this time you guys can see we have a double hashtag in the front of EMP table. And there is no random number is generated in the object explorer. So I hope you guys are clear with the last point of global temporary table. So let me try to open this table again with select command, select star from double hashtag EMP. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, I can clearly see the same table here. And now let's try to understand the next point of global temporary table. You guys can see this global temporary table in different connections, but local temporary table you can't see. So now let me copy this query and simply click here on this new query. So here we have entered in new connection. This is the previous connection guys, which is S Verma 60. This is the new one, which is S Verma 65. And now let me paste this query here and simply select this query and hit execute. So see guys, I can also see the same table in the different connection. So I hope you guys are clear with the second point of global temporary table. And now let's try to understand the third point with practical. Global temporary table destroyed when the last connection referencing the table is closed. So simply means guys, if you close the last reference connection, this table will automatically destroyed. So let's see this thing with practical. So now what I will do guys, I will simply go here under this last reference. And now let me close this and click here on no. So that means guys, I have closed the last reference. And now let me try to open this table. So see guys, it throws an error, invalid object name, because we have closed the last reference. So I hope now you guys are clear with this third point of global temporary table. And now let's talk about one more point. So the next point says guys, we can't create global temporary table with same names in the different connection. And now let's check same thing with this practical. We will try to create a same table name with different connection. So let's go to the SSMS again, and I have already copied this query, and now let me paste it here. So see guys, one row affected. And now let's try to create a same table in different connection. So let me go here under this new query and simply paste this query here. And now let me select this query and hit execute. See guys, it throws us an error. There is already an object name in the different database. So you can't create same table name in the different connection in global temporary table. And now let's understand the last point. Local and temporary table both created in tempdb database. This point is common for both the table, either it's local or global. So I hope you guys are clear with the difference of local versus global temporary table. So for such kind of detailed learning guys, stay connected with us and kindly support this channel. And those who are new to this channel, kindly hit the like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to press this bell icon guys, else you will miss an update. And those who wants to learn Power BI or SQL from scratch, so you guys can follow this free YouTube channel, which name is Analytics Pro. And if you scroll it down guys, so here you guys can see we have a full course Power BI playlist where I have explained each and every concept about Power BI in detail. And if you click here on this playlist button guys, so you guys will get to see multiple playlists are here. This is the Power BI full course playlist, and these are the advanced concepts of Power BI where you guys can take the knowledge of advanced concepts of Power BI. And we have this Power BI with SQL playlist where you guys can learn all the concepts of SQL from scratch. So you guys can start your SQL journey with this free YouTube channel. And along with that guys, we have this visualization playlist and we have this DAX expression playlist. Here we have covered most of the DAX functions from scratch which are majorly used in your projects. And here under this playlist, I am also trying to cover all the differences of DAX functions which is majorly asked in an interviews. And very soon guys, I will add some more playlists so that you guys can take better understanding of the analytical skills. And for the job seekers guys, we have this free Telegram group where I'm keep posting latest Power BI jobs opening, as well as you will also find some latest interview question and answers which recently asked by an interviewer. So you don't need to pay anything to anyone. But those who are looking only live sessions, so we guys also conduct live training and sessions where we prepare candidates from scratch till intermediate level with some scenarios, real-time projects, assignments, notes and so on. And we also provide placement assistance with the help of WhatsApp group where you will get to see some HR emails, contact number and so on. And you guys can also follow us on Insta as well as Facebook. So all the links I will share under the description box. You guys can follow us there. So for free learners guys, you guys can follow this Analytics Pro, and for the live training and sessions, you guys can connect me any of the platform. Thank you so much guys for your more love and support. Keep learning and keep growing. Thank you so much.